Hello, everybody. I am just making sure that I am on the right channel. I think so. I think I am. Hello, everybody. I am just making sure that I am on the right channel. Welcome. Let me mute this. All right. Welcome, my friends. So, I have some exciting stuff today that I want to do. I want to go over. Okay, so some of you know me, some of you don't. My name is Master Juniper Bloom Mystique. I am an ascension master, a master healer, and a divine guide. Since 2019, I had a Kundalini awakening that was sudden, that I didn't see coming. And I'm grateful. And then amazing things started happening through me all along the journey. So, let me close this out. Okay. So welcome. Yay! I made it live. I am on live. All right. So I have something important I want to talk about today. So I want to talk about Jamie Foxx. During my journey, I've had amazing things happen. Some of them pertained to the earth, activating pyramids, clearing Mount Shasta, freeing souls, uniting twin souls such as Jesus and Mary Magdalene, Sekhmet and Horus, and Adam and Eve. And I didn't see those coming, right? And part of that was clearing karma out of missing persons and unsolved cases that would just pop up into my energy to do. I didn't learn how to do these things. They were innate in me. And I loved doing the missing people and unsolved cases. I really did. But when I got to a certain point on the journey, Spirit said, we can't, it's not a good idea to keep doing those anymore because they didn't match the vibration. So in New Earth, we're not going to have missing people and unsolved mysteries to solve. Not only that, they are quite low vibrational. So I did kind of sidestep out of them, but they are quite amazing. I do love doing them. So one of the favorites that I did was Tupac. But this isn't about Tupac today. We're going to talk about Jamie Foxx. But because he has a special place in my heart too. Jamie Foxx always has. So is Tupac. Growing up, Tupac was always around, always in the energy. I think my brother used to really love Tupac. A whole bunch of people that I knew did. And as I got older, he would just pop in, right? Like his story. But I never understood it or researched it until about 2 years ago, maybe a little longer, and his came up too. And now the one that I said was guilty is truly falling. So these are truly about clearing them out of the karma, right? And along the way, I did one on Jamie Foxx. And so today, recently I was like, well, what really happened to him? So Jamie Foxx, he has always been one of my favorites, like I said. And he's popped in and out of my reality, and he kept coming up. And so let me see, I'm going to show you the video I did a few years ago, but it says a year ago, but I have a feeling it was closer to 2 years ago. But I'm going to show you the original video I channeled about Jamie Foxx. It was right when something was happening to him. He was kind of going through something, and I was like, what is happening? It was quite strange, right? So I'm going to show you that video, and I channeled from Spirit what they said happened to Jamie Foxx. What happened to him, because not only did I do a video on him then, he did a special on Netflix. Now, I don't know if I can show the special on Netflix because we know how that stuff goes, right? Like, they're very like very careful with what we're allowed to post and do and say. So I'm going to try, though, to show my favorite part of that show. Okay, so let's just, without further ado, so I'm going to show you my first original channeled message about Jamie Foxx, and then I'm going to read to you what I channeled about Jamie Foxx yesterday, because there's some people who believe he's a clone now. What really happened to him, right? So I was curious when I watched the Netflix show. I was in my feels. You know what I'm saying? And so I wanted to know what spirit. I know what I feel in my heart, but I wanted to know what spirit had to say. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my original channeled video about Jamie Foxx. All right, and I want to make sure you can see me. Okay, so here I am, here I be. Long as you can see me too, we're good. All right, so I'm gonna come up into the corner. Let's do top right corner, share. All right, my friends. So this was my original missing persons and unsolved mystery. So these were pushed by spirit to do this, right? Like they're like, do these. I don't know if you guys remember Gannon Stauck. He was actually the first missing person. Well, I would say the second. The first one was somebody that was present during my awakening. And they had a friend go missing and they kept nudging me. And I'm like, I've never done this. And so it just kept popping up in my energy to do them. It wasn't something I sought after. They kept popping up into my energy to do them. So I always followed those nudges of the heart center. And then eventually it led me to some amazing things on the Return of Christ journey for processing deaths and clearing shadows and things. But every one of them that I do is truly about clearing the karma out of the collective, regardless. And it never usually goes along with some of the things they say. And that's okay, because I trust what I get always. Natalia, I did one on her. I did one on Bob Saget. That was interesting because it came out as Joe Rogan and Depeche Mode that were responsible. I've done one on many different people. Aaron's message was actually quite cool. He came through in a poetic form. And of course there was Orrin and Orson West. There was quite a few. Okay, that really meant something to me. Tupac's is on here. I would encourage you to watch that one, because I feel like at this point we all know who did it. And who did it is going to go down anyways. Here's another one. Tupac. Okay, so, but we are here to watch about Jamie Foxx, so that's what I'm going to show today. So let's watch what happened
the day prior
to Jamie Foxx.
I would actually probably say there was like a 4-day.
Let's see here. We're just going to listen.
Warriors. What's up? This is my new channel, but it is not my original channel. So I'll kind of introduce myself a little bit, give you a little bit of insight into who I am and what I am doing here today. This is my shining light into the darkness. This is me shining my light where it needs to be and finding out the truths behind some things, whether you agree they're truths or not, right? It's truly not about our opinions. I don't do these for that reason, but I'm going to give you a little insight into who I am, and then we'll talk about why we're here today. So today's going to be about Jamie Foxx, by the way. I wanted to tune in, ask Spirit a little bit about him, which at first was a little bit difficult for me to get into, and I'll kind of tell you why. All right, so I am Juniper Bloom Mystique. That is not right. And it put me on the path to...
We don't need to hear that again.
Everything just kind of moved around and happened longer. I don't know. And they would ask, it sounds really weird, but time. Now, all this was witnessed.
I'm just getting to Jamie Foxx.
And it's all recorded, and I don't even... That's who I am. And during that process, I created this series. Now, it kept coming through to me how people died. So I started doing them. Light into the Darkness by Master Juniper Bloom Mystique. I believe in what I get. I trust in what I get, because I will take you over to that channel. So you can watch all of that for yourself. You can subscribe and stick around. You just might find you like what you see. And it might help you ascend too. You never know, right? So today we're going to be talking about Jamie Foxx. I'm not going to lie, guys. When I was a kid, oh my gosh, like I was totally in love with Jamie Foxx. It's like a secret, right? He was, if I ever had a celebrity crush, He was maybe one of the main ones. I don't have a lot of those. But Jamie Foxx was always somebody that just, he's a beautiful, I always thought he was a beautiful soul. He's musically inclined. He's a great actor. But if you have really noticed, like, where has he been for a long time, right? Like, I personally haven't seen him a whole lot compared to like 10, 15, even 20 years ago. So, recently, most of you might know Mr. Jamie Foxx, who is an American actor, singer, and much more, had a health emergency, something they're kind of being hush-hush about, right? And something didn't seem right to me. So they kind of don't really know. They're not saying what happened. It was just a sudden medical emergency. His daughter supposedly was the first one to say something. I think it was on TikTok or something. We're going to kind of look at all that. Which I didn't think was much of a family response. If my family member, I mean, usually, people are
Looking into the message I got now, you guys, it makes full sense. You just wait, because I'm going to channel to you what Spirit says did happen to him, and is he still alive? Is he a clone? Like, I wanted to know the outcome. So wait until you hear what I say in here.
all over that, right? They're quite open about things, and they're in the doctors or hospital, or it becomes much bigger. I felt something was off from the very beginning. So I wanted to ask Spirit what's going on with Jamie Foxx, because like I said, I used to really like this guy. And I was stunned to find out what I found out. But before I tell you what Spirit told me, I'm going to fill you in on a little bit of his public information, because some of you may not know, right? Or some of you might be interested in just hearing it. So we're going to do that. Okay, so I'm going to screen share with you a little bit about Mr. Jamie Foxx. Fox, the sexy Fox. Okay, so who is Jamie Foxx?
I forgot some of this.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you guys too. Like, he's almost like me. Like, he has pictures where he just looks like a different person every time, but still the same underlying him. His born name, the name he was born with, was Eric Marlon Bishop.
You guys, I also want to point out, have you seen the movie Cloning Tyrone? I think it's called that. Who Cloned Tyrone? Jamie Foxx is in it. I encourage you to watch that movie, because, people think he's a clone now. And he actually played in the movie Who Cloned Tyrone. And I watched that one too at some point. And I was like, so let's just watch.
Born December 13th, 1967. So he's actually quite a bit older than me. I didn't realize that. Known professionally as Jamie Foxx, right? As an American actor, comedian, and singer. So like I said, he was a good singer. Like, I used to love it when he would play piano and sing and stuff. Oh my gosh. I was like, why isn't he a musician? Like, he should definitely be a musician. That's what I used to think. He became widely known for his portrayal of Ray Charles in 2004 biographical film Ray, which I did not watch that one. I don't know if you guys did. Maybe I should. For which he won the Academy Award, BAFTA, Screen Actors Guild Award. Well, okay. He's won a lot of awards, basically, okay? And he's served as a host on Beat Shazam, a Fox game show, and then much other acting roles. Now, apparently, he was recently filming a movie, which I didn't know about that either.
Oh, so Back in Action. So that just came out too, and I watched it, and something didn't feel right about that. It's a little sketchy to me, and it wasn't that great of a movie, in my opinion. But during that movie, during the recording of Back in Action, is when this actually took place. What happened to him went down. And so we're going to discuss that. But I'm giving you what I said like 2 years ago. Not even sure when I did this. It says a year ago. Oh, May 2nd, 23. So, yep, almost 2 years ago, right? So we're about 3 months shy or so of 2 years. So let's just listen.
I noticed a while ago, like, I started seeing him less and less. Maybe it's just me, right? I guess he has 2 children, including Corinne. Now, Corinne is the one who was the first person apparently to say that he had a medical emergency. And I understand maybe the family could be worried about him and spending their time focusing on him and a little bit more quiet. That's possible. I can understand that, right?
Now, also during that time, you would have a lot of celebrities coming out being like, oh, he's in the hospital. And it was just really weird. It was really weird. You had all these theories, all of these weirdness is happening. It was very strange. It was one of the strangest happenings because, first of all, it got a lot of attention, but it was also a lot of like shrouded attention. Does that make sense? So I don't know if I want to watch the whole thing. I wish it would hurry up and get into it. But honestly, let's just listen.
And so I thought, well, something's just a little bit odd here. So that's his backstory. If you want to know more about that, you can find that out. Wikipedia doesn't always give accurate information, but that seemed to be the one that popped up. So now we're going to kind of talk about what's been happening. Okay, before I give you what I channeled, because I did channel, I asked Spirit what's happening. And at first they're like, it's a little bit personal because he's still on the physical plane. So I'm gonna talk to you about this a little bit. Jamie Foxx's medical emergency. Everything we know so far. Now, keep in mind, I don't believe the media. I am not somebody who believes everything I hear. Okay. I recently did a video on Aaron Carter, which I even want to do another one because I found out more that they were talking about, which actually tell you,
Like, come on.
they are very good to manipulate. Okay. So what I get from Spirit usually doesn't match what everybody else thinks they know or thinks they hear. But I tend to believe what I've seen and what I've witnessed and what my guides tell me because of what I've witnessed and seen and been doing over the last 3 years. Plus, I am a psychic. I do lots of readings and healings, and I've never been wrong so far. So keep that in mind. Do I believe everybody's 100% accurate? With the thing is with spirituality stuff, you guys, with the spiritual side is it's energy. Can things move and change? Yeah, they can. Okay, so where I might read in one moment might be a little bit different later on because the energy changed or something occurred to change that in that current moment.
So I'm gonna skip.
So that's just where I'm coming from. Jamie Foxx's medical emergency, everything we know so far. What to know about the medical complication Jamie Foxx has experienced. There was a little bit of a gap between it all. Okay. We want to share that the father, Jamie Foxx, experienced a medical complication. They didn't talk a lot about it. I didn't look at the account. I don't follow a lot of people on things, right? Because I wasn't a media person personally. So a lot of what I find out is after I channel them, I'm like, oh, this is what I get. And then I kind of went and do this. When it's somebody like Jamie Foxx, like he's got a huge fan base.
I just want to get to the channeled message part. Sorry.
All right.
And what happened, they didn't really know what happened. He was very hush-hush about it then, and he still kind of is now. Now it's come out that they said he said he had a stroke, but he was still very vague about it in his Netflix special, which I'm going to show you a little part of it if I can get away with it because it was my favorite part in it. But in his Netflix special, he talked about how it was just a sudden medical emergency that they didn't understand, and the doctors still don't know details to this day of what happened, the totality of what happened and why. But he did almost die. But I want to get to what Spirit said happened 2 years ago.
So he was set to star in the upcoming movie. Now this is interesting, set to star. So I thought he was already doing it. But it's back in action opposite Cameron Diaz. So here's the thing is they're saying it's set to star, which means he hasn't started acting in it yet, right? Yet they already started doing it. So I don't know, that's a little odd to me. Maybe that's not what it means.
I watched that recently because it also came out on Netflix, back in action, and I don't know, man. I just couldn't quite put my finger on that one. But I did watch his Netflix special. Now, he even said in his Netflix special, I encourage you to watch the whole thing, is that, because I don't know if they'll even let me get away with playing it, but that people literally will yell him out as a clone as he goes out to dinner and things. So people truly believe he's not really walking this earth anymore and he's a clone. And so I'm like, okay, let's tune back in and see what happens. So I just want to get to what I channeled 2 years ago, and then I'm going to show you his special little section on Netflix. Crossing our fingers they're going to let me. And then I will give you what I channeled about him today. And if Spirit says he is alive, is he a clone? What do they say happened? I got a whole page of stuff, so let's listen.
But he has received a plethora of well wishes from fans, friends, and family since his health complication was made public. Now, at one time, I don't know about you guys, but at one time there was something I read where it sounded like maybe a mental health issue, okay, was a part of it. So I'm going to see what this all says. Stars including Kerry Washington and LeBron James took to social media to post tributes to the actor.
So I'm going to try to skip really quick because I go into all the things that were weird and that they said happened, but I want to give you the channeled message, okay? Because that's the most important thing.
Since I've shared with you what made me go, I'm going to share with y'all what I got in channeling what happened to Jamie Foxx, okay? Now, at first, I got a little bit because I'm like, he's still like, it has to go through his free will, you know what I mean, or release of his higher self, because he is alive. Okay,
he was alive then,
for now.
Still,
I'm gonna say that again. He is alive for now. The first thing that I got about Jamie Foxx was sex trafficking. Okay, and I'm like, maybe I'm making that up because the Tiffany Haddish thing is what, so I have to question myself sometimes, you know, I'm like, is this really from spirit? Then they said also Scientology, and I'm like, wait, what? I had no idea he was a part of Scientology. Did you guys? So I actually researched that too. He is a part of Scientology, and he's friends with Tom Cruise and all that kind of stuff. And then I was like, oh, the hair's on the back of my...
Oh, I forgot about this. This is why I wanted to watch this again. I have not seen this since I published it.
My neck went up even more. And I'm like, okay, that's validating the sex trafficking for me. For me, it is. If you think that stuff's good, good on you. Maybe do some research, right? I'm going to also tell you that Spirit compared the Scientology to the Illuminati. That is what it is. Okay. Then the next thing I got is
Since this video, I've undone a lot of that. We undid the Sistine Chapel, the Money Matrix, the Medical Matrix. It's all been undone. The pentagram, the pentagon, everything has totally been returned back, and now we're in it. We're in the thick of those pyramid activations that I did. So this truly was 2 years ago. But I forgot, they said let's listen carefully because he's in my heart space. Like, I feel him, and I want to I want you to hear the totality of what they've said about Jamie Foxx, because I feel like, you know, they have this ability to put on a persona, an agenda, and Hollywood has been used as a tool as such, right? Because we became so engulfed and enamored in celebrities and who they were and the importance of them, and we got lost in what was really happening and what was truth, and so they were tools of the agenda. So I want you to hear this.
He is on his way out, my friends. Okay, so he is not going to be staying for too much longer. What that means, I don't know. Now, keep in mind, Spirit's time frame may not be tomorrow. It might be. They ain't going to tell you when. Just know that he's already, like, the plan, the blueprint, the map of his life print. He's already has a time frame. Okay, we all do, but his is like ticky-tacky, okay? Something else happened. This is specifically what Spirit said. Okay, something else happened, meaning it's not what they're saying. Which is really strange because we got like all these weird vibes going on with it, right?
You know what? Now that I'm watching this again, and then after I watched his Netflix special of what he said happened, dude, you guys, I don't know if they're going to let me play it. Maybe we can get away with playing it because this makes so much sense now. So I'm not one to assume I know everything of what Spirit says because Spirit's very vast. So you have to observe. It's very important to put things in your pocket and listen. So let's listen, and I want to explain some things.
Right? Like, oh, he's fine, he's awake, he's alert. I don't know. I mean, it's just weird. It's just weird to me. Now, the daughter immediately gave something and said, we want privacy at this time. I get that, right? Like, that makes sense. But then all these celebrities are like, yeah, he's doing great. He's alert. He's awake. He's recovering. I would have been like, dude, they would have been like more upset. Like, I heard he had surgery. Like, what to me, the reactions doesn't match him having a stroke and surgery immediately. I don't know. That's just me. And then Spirit had said something else happened. I'm like, okay, but what? Right? Like, something else happened. And I'm like, but what? Okay. And then I heard dying, deleted, defeated. Dying, deleted, defeated. And I'm like, what does that mean? So I put it down and I went back to it. Okay. Then they showed me ritualistic behaviors. Now, if you're following the ascension and all the what's going on in the matrix and all that kind of stuff, you're very familiar with, you know, the fact that they duped you, and there has been a lot of ritualistic behaviors. There's good rituals and there's bad rituals, okay? And he is on the side of the Illuminati. Ritualistic behaviors, which is all of Hollywood, which is all of Scientology. They just put new words on them so that everybody is in, oh, it's cool, it's new, it's good. And they get new recruiters. That's the way I look at it. It's a big cult, right? That's what you could call it. That's my opinions. That's really not my opinions, actually. It's pretty much factual at this point. Anyways, then this is a really interesting part they pointed to, which I didn't know exactly about the stroke, I don't think, when I channeled this yet. I think that's new information. They told me he had a chip in his head that he tried to rip out. Something else happened, right? This is what they said. Jamie had a chip in his head that he tried to rip it out. He tried to escape. He was trying to get out. He was trying to get out. So then I'm like, okay, then what's going on, right? I mean, a lot of people can tell in our heart space, a lot of people can tell in the energy that the world is changing. This is a feeling of, like, you know, rapture type stuff, right? Like, it's going on, it's going down. You got Twitch killing himself and lots of people happening, Aaron Carter dying, and like, it's all over the board, right? And so that's why I'm like, what is going on? He apparently had a chip in his head. And so I want to know, do they all have a chip in their head? And what the hell is the chip in the head? I don't know. They said Jamie tried to rip it out. He tried to escape. They won't let him. He's being held hostage under manipulation. This is all they've said, okay? I don't know. I'm like, you think people are going to believe that? And then I got a visual. He threatened to oust info, and then he was silenced. Okay. This is what Spirit said. Now, keep in mind, he's not, this has to be, like, I can't see all the details. Like, if they were on the other side, I could really tune into more about them, the emotions, you know, all that kind of stuff. But I can't feel into his emotions at all. If maybe he's detached from them as it is, I don't know. Then they said the Illuminati. So they didn't say that at first. I was like, you think people are really going to believe when I say this, right? And then they said, well, it's the same thing as the Illuminati and Scientology. It's a direct tie. Okay, he has a direct tie. Then what they showed me was Tom Cruise, like, standing over him, and he was like doing like this, and he's like thinking, and he was like stressed out, and he was talking to somebody, he's like talking over him, but not like he was talking over Jamie Foxx. Like, Jamie Foxx was lying down either in the hospital or somewhere, I don't know, I don't really get the setting, I just see a color in the background, and I see him kind of like talking over him and walking. It's like a couch. I don't think it was a hospital, I think it was like a couch, maybe like a brown leather couch, and he's like walking back and forth, and he's talking to somebody else, like, you creating the plan. Okay, this is it's a little bit staged. That's all I can say with that. Okay, and I feel like there's quite a few players in it, and probably a lot to do with some of, not all of, the players mentioned above. Okay, especially like Tiffany Haddish. Okay,
So what I'm saying is layered here, because that's how spirit works, okay? And I feel like they specifically said they tried to silence him. I saw it was something with his head. Now, at the time, they didn't know all the details, right? He wasn't speaking at the time. Nobody was ousting what was really going on. But I tuned into the head, and they tried to silence him. So essentially, he's trying to escape. So basically, it's almost like a pressure cooker, right? This is the rapture. This is the end of ways. And we all have a pressure cooker of a sort underneath us at this time. Which path do you choose? Which path do you choose? What is your choice? Where are you going? And I feel like that's what God was talking about in the beginning of my channeled message. So I'm very careful to ever assume what God means or what the channeled messages mean. I let them play out as they may, because it's vast. It's very deep, and spirit will speak in cryptic form in a lot of ways. They don't communicate like we communicate. They communicate in images and feelings and colors and symbolic gestures, and then also in other ways of like bits of channeled pieces. And so I specifically said in here that, you know, he had a TikTok. And it's knowing what I channel now. Let's just listen really quick.
Haddish, whatever the hell her name is. Like, I really don't like.
So he was engulfed in that. He was enamored in that stuff. Um, and wasn't he with one of Tom Cruise's wives at one point? I can't remember her name. So there is a tangled web we weave, just like some of the other celebrities would say when I would channel them. There's a tangled web we weave. And I feel like this was his rapture time. This was like, sometimes we need something major to jolt us out of the situation that we're in. And I just got chills when I said that. So let's listen.
Like her at all now, right? And then I was really sad. I was like, damn, Gina. So then I kind of realized, well, that's probably why I stopped seeing him so much. Maybe he did get kind of corrupted. Maybe, like a lot of them, he was born a good soul, and just through fame and people and money and greed and manipulation, hostage. And that's what they're pointing to. And so this hostage and manipulation may be like a many year thing. It may not just be necessarily right now, but I believe some of what they're mentioning in the media is part of that plan.
Also, the word hostage coming up there makes me think of what Britney Spears went through, right? She was, what do they call those, conservatorship, which is also what they tried to do to Bam Bergeron really recently. Like, and sometimes it causes people to crack, like Kanye. Anyways, let's just listen.
Okay, so maybe they had a fallout. Maybe he had an argument with them and he wanted to break free. Maybe he wanted to break free in general. It's like kind of trying to get out of a gang and they're just going to shank you. Right? Like you can't be
It's funny,
free.
but it's not funny.
And what I hear is he's on his way out. I feel like we all are, right? In some way, shape, or form, but I do feel like his is like definitely on a shorter time than I would have wanted it to be.
Okay, so that on his way out, again, isn't always what we think it means. I want you to hear this now. So this is his Netflix special that he did recently. So he did come back on the scene. Now, if you guys remember when he came back on the scene, he looked very thin and very almost white. Like he really did. And I was like, is that really him? I questioned it too. I'm like, is it really him? Did he die? Because in here, it sounded like, okay, so that tick tock, he was on his way out. So I feel like, he was at a crossroads. This was his crossroads. And so let's see what Spirit said happened. Is he a clone now? Was it really him? There is a part in his Netflix special. I don't know if they're going to let me play it. Because I don't see his, let's try. Are you ready? Let's try. I really encourage you to watch this whole entire Netflix special, because in it, he specifically talks about his experience. Now, in his communications of it, I was paying very close attention to what he said. But here's a specific part of this that meant the world to me, that caught me in the feels. So I want to see if they're going to let me play it.
Defibrillator. That's Annalise. When you think about as you grow older, you wonder about those hard times.
So it's looking like they're blocking it.
There?
Can you hear it?
Who's actually gonna be there?
I don't know if you can hear him.
Anymore.
If you can hear it. So nobody's here to tell me if they can hear it, but let's see.
Playmate. Play. Play, Annalise, please. Let him see your talent. Let him see. Shine, Annalise. Shine.
Okay, she can hear it. So thank you, Lisa. As long as you can hear it, listen carefully. Looks like they're blocking the visual.
That's Annalise.
So that's his daughter. I'm gonna pause it. So he's playing guitar. His daughter's playing guitar, and he's getting really heated, emotional. And of course, they're gonna block it. It's Netflix and YouTube, and God forbid. But there's a specific things he says in here, and I just hope that you can hear it. So let's just listen really quickly.
Thank you so much for stepping up when all was lost. Oh, goodness.
I mean, you had to make it because I always dreamed that we'd perform together on stage one day.
So, we gonna do something?
Yeah.
All right, we gonna do something. Play the guitar. Now, this ain't no church song, but it's the closest thing to it. No, it's a conversation with God and how he got me through it. See, I remember the moment when my blood turned cold and my heart almost stopped. My vision was blurred. My veins was blocked. They rushed me to the doctor, but the doctor couldn't find a plan. So my daughter started to cry, but my sister threw up her hands and said, "Please, Jesus, not right now. Please, Lord, because I don't know how to live without you. I don't have enough tears to cry, and I don't have the wings to fly to you to beg you myself. So, dear Lord, I bow. Please, don't take him now. Don't take me now. Give me just a few moments." Come on, Annalise. I said, "Please, God, don't take me. Let me stay for a while. My oldest daughter's getting married. Please let me walk her down the aisle."
So they showed an image of him walking his daughter down the aisle.
ATL, he did me a favor. He let me walk her down the aisle. But I had to make some promises. And I promised I will go to church as long as I could find a church that feels like church and not the devil's work in disguise. Don't take me now, don't take me. Atlanta, don't let them take me, Lord. Don't let them take me, Lord.
So did you hear that? He said, "Don't take me." Right? "I promise I will go to church as long as I can find a church that is a church and it isn't the devil's work in disguise." So, I really encourage you to watch that special, okay? That I wish I could play it here for you, because it got me in the feels. It got me in my heart space. Now, in my original channeled video about what happened to Jamie Foxx, is he had a tick time. He had a tick time, and he was on his way out. And what he talks about is how he basically threw himself down to God. Okay, that's what he said happened. Now, a lot of people believe he was cloned. Could he have been cloned? I feel like there was a timeline where maybe he would have been. I feel like what happened is his hand was forced. And like I specifically said in my original channeled video, is that he was trying to remove himself. He was trying to stop their control, to stop being a hostage, basically, is essentially what I said. And you can tell in his thing that the emotions are very real on Netflix. So they're raw and they're very real and you can feel them. And when he's saying about, I promise I'll go to church, Lord God, don't take me now. And I will find a church that isn't disguised in the devil's work. Now, recently I entered the Sistine Chapel. So is religion false? Yes, on a very large deal, on a large scale. And what they truly did to God was a lie, to Jesus. All of that has been shown on my channel. But you have to be willing to look at that. You have to be willing to watch the details. And that's why I say very importantly is never assume what Spirit says. Put it in our pocket and allow it to unfold. Because I kept saying, this is it. This is his time. It's a tick-tocky. And he specifically talked about how he knew this was it. Like, this was it. And it does have to deal with his head. And I had specifically said that there was a chip. They talk about a chip. I did one on Justin Bieber, and they talked about him being chipped, kind of like AI. They do things to control you. They do many things to control you. Conservatorship. They called it hostage. Hostage kept coming up in his original video. Okay. And he was very emotional on his Netflix special. And I felt him in my heart space. Okay. So this, I really wish they would let me show that. I kind of knew they were going to throw some shade and try to block it. And I hope they don't block that out, because that was the most beautiful song I'd ever heard. When his daughter was playing guitar, it was his youngest daughter. And he literally talked about, please God, don't take me. Jesus, don't take me. Surrendering to him. And that he will go to church, he will be in the house of God. But as long as he can find a church that is God and not a devil's work in disguise. Okay. So here is what Spirit said now. Here is what Spirit says now, channeled yesterday or the day before, about what happened to Jamie Foxx. Is it really him? Is it really him? And this is what Spirit said. Something major did happen to him. Okay? We know that now, right? And I said that in the very first channeled video that I did. But he is not on the other side. He's not on the other side to this day. Things are not always as they seem. But he has God by his side. He chooses love. And is detaching from other things. He did almost die. Whew, the chills. He made very careful choices. And his family helped him. That is true. And in that Netflix special, he talks about his sister stepping in and going against everybody and saving his life. His family helped him survive. He chose to glitch the matrix, is what Spirit called it. He chose to glitch the matrix. That's how Spirit wrote it. That's how I wrote it, but it came through Spirit. I don't say anything myself. It's them, pure channel. He was threatened and made to feel empty. But he chose to stay on the side of light, and it was a battle he won't soon forget. Can I get an amen? It was a battle he won't soon forget. He was threatened and made to feel empty, but he chose to stay on the side of light. And it was a battle he won't, oh, the chills, he won't soon forget. He is cleansing karma. And there's more to come. And he is choosing to show careful truths only to some. But there is more to come. Spirit kept pushing that through. More to come. There's more to come. He will soon be tested and tempted again. But so far, his heart has been his true guide. Stay tuned for more to come from Jamie Foxx. It can get heated. It is, after all, the school of hard knocks. He did what he did for his kids. Okay? He did what he did because of the love he had for his kids. Then it said, he is not a clone. He took back his power. So I'm going to read it one more time because of the crypticality, right? From the first one to this one, the similarities within them. And it kind of gives a full circle moment to the first message as well. So I repeatedly said in there, he's not on the other side. I can absolutely guarantee you that because I can see spirit. I can absolutely tell you he is not on the other side. They may have a clone of him. I ain't going to deny that. But he is, that special was him. Okay. So, and he was very kind of cryptic about what happened to him. He did claim it as a stroke, but he literally said the doctors still don't know. And there were people trying to say he was fine. They were trying to, his sister literally had to step in and rip him out of a situation, basically. And he kind of said that. But he was a little cryptic. So I was like, So let's see again. Something major did happen to him. Not on the other side. Things are not always as they seem. But he has God by his side. He chooses love and is detaching from other things. He did almost die. He came to his crossroads. That's exactly what happened to him. God said, tick-tocky, it's time. You either choose this life that you've known or you choose your heart. And he said, I choose love. I choose God. I choose to go to God. I choose to go to a church of the house of God that is truly the house of God and is not a devil in disguise. That is my favorite line he has ever, ever, ever sang out of his mouth. And if you know the work that I did, you would know how much that makes my heart fill with love. Oh, like it's there. His truth is there. And there are still people who refuse to believe he's alive. They think he's a clone. They think that was a false special part of the agenda, but it wasn't. So things are not always as they seem. But he has God by his side. And this is why we have to be very careful with assumptions on what God means and what the messages mean. I give them as they're given, but we have to put them in our pocket. And we have to let things unfold for what spirit truly means because things are so vast. There's so many things we cannot see in a conscious realm. Okay? And spirit communicates in a way through free will, number one. Okay? But he has God by his side, and he chooses love. And is detaching from other things. He did almost die. He made very careful choices, and his family helped him survive. He chose to glitch the matrix. I love that line too. He chose to glitch the matrix. He was threatened. He was threatened. And made to feel empty. And it does have to do with money and threatening. And like I can see it. Actually, when I channeled the very first one, I could see it kind of playing out. Like, if you don't do this, you're done. And he was going to be done. But he chose. He chose. And so everybody on this planet has had a choice. And they've made their choice. One way or the other, you are making your choices. Okay? You are either rising to God or falling with what they call the Antichrist, the matrix system, the glitch in the matrix, right? You get it? So he chose to glitch his matrix. He chose to glitch the matrix. He was threatened and made to feel empty, but he chose to stay on the side of light. And it was a battle he won't soon forget. He is cleansing karma. And they said it down here. He did it for his kids. He loves his kids. Like, I can feel people's hearts. I see the totality of their heart. And we're not here to judge. It's not about blame. You think you're perfect, you're not, right? And so we all grew up in the same shitstorm of earth. And we've all made choices maybe we aren't proud of. But it's not about that. It's about, can we come to God? Can you come to Jesus and say, I forgive myself. I choose love, and I choose to let go what I've done, and I also choose to oust and cleanse my karma. And that's what he's doing. Oh, the chills that I just got. So he chose to stay on the side of light, and it was a battle he won't soon forget. He is cleansing karma, and there's more to come. And choosing to show a careful truth only to some. There's more to come. Let's hear that again. Choosing to show careful truths only to some for now. There's more to come. He will soon be tested and tempted again. But so far, his heart has been his true guide. Stay tuned for more to come from Jamie Foxx. It can get heated. It is, after all, the school of hard knocks. Okay, stay tuned for more to come from Jamie Foxx. It can get heated. It is, after all, the school of hard knocks. He's got some stuff to clear still, you know what I'm saying? But he's choosing to clear it so far. He did what he did for his kids. So I remember on my journey, there was a time where I don't know how I made it. And it was anchoring into the love that I had for my kids, like, and my DM. Like that love, where we have love, the true love will make you a fighter. He is not a clone. He may have a clone. Have you got to watch his movie, Who Cloned Tyrone? He may have a clone, but he is still alive. So he took back his power and he chose the light. So, you know, his line just gets me in the feels every time. I want to make that a cover. Like, I love what he's saying in there. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard.
But I had to make some promises. And I promised I will go to church as long as I could find a church that feels like church and not the devil's work in disguise. Don't take me now, don't take me. Atlanta, don't let them take me, Lord. Don't let them take me, Lord. Don't take me.
That is the best line I have ever heard in my life. In my life. I should have recorded this because I don't want them to take it off. Freedom of speech, y'all. Freedom of speech. And also, like, you can see my face in it. You hear my voice throughout it. So, you know, this censorship is getting old. I don't care if I have to pay for use of that. I pay for Netflix. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, please watch that special. Because that is the most beautiful special I have ever watched. And I normally won't watch that kind of stuff. But, you know, he touched my heart space for a reason. He came out for a reason. So if you know who I am, and you know the work that I've done in your heart, and you've actually watched the work that I've done, and you didn't allow judgments and the resistance to get in your way and cloud what was and what has happened, and if you put all this together, it's quite beautiful. It's quite profound. I did a thing on him 2 years ago, and then, you know, if you really truly understand that the things that I put my energy in is absolutely astronomically purposeful. There is no randomization in what I do or the things I touch. There isn't. And I learned this a long time ago and I just got major chills. There is no randomization in the things I do or the things I touch or what God calls me to do. They're very purposeful. And he went through what he went through. He had a crossroads. Like, we all have a crossroads at this time. We all have a choice to make. We either meet ourselves in the middle and clear what was done and be honest and transparent and choose love, or we don't. Or we don't. Okay? It is our choice to make. Do we give our power to ourselves and to the light? Or do we give it to the shadow? That is the two paths. That is duality no more. We can no longer be duality, my friends. And this is beautiful. This touches my heart. Feels like more than my DM at this time has sometimes. Like it's equal. I don't want to say more. It's like equal. Like it really does touch me in my heart feels. Like when my DM gives me love, I mean nothing really compares to that, but this is that good. Like what he went through, his choice, and even those words, like they're so beautiful, they're so meaningful, they're so palpable and powerful. And what I can tell you is, you know, we may judge, we may poke and prod, we may think we know people's heart space. We may think we know what they should do, could do, would do. We may think we know all of the truths, but we don't. We don't. And just because somebody has had a hard life or made choices that maybe you wouldn't have, or, you know, like just because they push something in the agenda doesn't always make it what it is. Okay. And even in spirituality, there's a side to that as well. Just because you hear something, see something, something's being observed does not make it so. We have to take our time with things. We have to sit diligently with things, and we have to put our ego aside and be willing to be humbled and be willing to be transparent. You guys, everything that I did, you have any idea how many people judged me? And most people wouldn't do it. Most people wouldn't want to put themselves out there in that way. I've watched that happen. They're afraid of people seeing their truth of their heart space. They're afraid of being humiliated in the public eye, so much so, or money is more important to them than anything, right? And he literally said, I came to God. And I'm going to play it one more time just because it's the most beautiful thing I've heard in a very long time. And if anybody can teach you something, let it be him in this moment.
But I had to make some promises. And I promised I would go to church as long as I could find a church that feels like church and not the devil's work in disguise. Don't take me, no, don't take me, Atlanta, don't let them take me, Lord, don't let them take me, Lord, don't.
I had to make some promises, he said. And I need to go to church, right? Church is supposedly the house of God. But as long as it's a church and it feels like a church and not the devil's work in disguise. A lot of the world that we knew is the devil's work in disguise. And I'm writing my book right now, the entire journey of the return of Christ, everything that I did. And I'm at the Adam and Eve section. And it makes full sense to when I birthed the new earth, to all the work that I've done, to Adam and Eve coming back together at that soul level, is they turned mankind against God. Okay, they have that snake, the temptations, right? And they fool you and blind you and deceive you and create fear and division and lack and control, hostage situations. Okay, and then they get you to give your power of God's light to them for their agenda of power, manipulation, blindness, and control. And they use the matrix systems to confuse you all and blind you all and get you to give their power to the light of the light. That's what it is. Okay? So it wasn't just as simple as tempting Adam and Eve. Oh no. It was getting many to turn against. Getting many to pull apart, to pull away, to give their power of the light to what is not. For money, greed, for ego, fear, judgment, expectations. So I said in the first one, yeah, he had his feelers in the Illuminati or Scientology, whatever you want to call it. It has many little sectors, right? The church, religion has been undone on this channel. I undid the Sistine Chapel. Do you know what was in the Sistine Chapel? They had trapped the spirit, the souls, I guess you can call them, but angels are a vast soul. but it was the cherubim angels. And those were the protectors of the Garden of Eden, or the Garden of Eve, right? When you know the truth, you know it's time to rise, no matter who you are or your karmic demise. The choice is truly yours. Do you choose love, transparency, strength, and light? Or do you give your power to the other side? I love Jamie Foxx. That was like, I need that album. I need that song, Plummet. I need that song to play very loudly in everything I do, because it means so much more to me than you guys can maybe even understand. It means so much more to me than maybe you guys can understand. Ooh, I had black obsidian just fall. Yeah, on that note, I'm going to smudge a little bit of the area. I would really like to protect this video. I would really like this video to stay on my channel. When I did the medical matrix, there was specifically people who are like, ooh, when are you going live on that one? Didn't comment about it, but then they blocked it and took it off right away. So, you know, if you think there still isn't censorship, there still is, and it needs to go away. Because, you know, other people can post stuff about guns and violence and lots of murder, death, and even other stuff that isn't quite appropriate, right? But when we post truth about God or the ascension or the return of Christ, it's muffled more than anything else. So I would like to protect this video and allow it to stay and allow you to hear what needs to be heard in every way, from beginning to end. No judgments, no fear, just love. So I protect this video. I should have recorded it and I didn't. I should have learned my lesson last time. I don't know why I didn't. Because I had to actually fight for my medical matrix healing video back because it was alive. I did it, I believe, live on this channel. And I didn't record it. I just did it live, and they took it, and then they took it off, and I actually had to fight for it back. And just because I played the Netflix thing and his song and his voice, God forbid, right? So I put up protections in every way. Allow us to shine in love and choose love and unity and union, and to release all shackles that bind and blind. You are no longer a hostage. If you think Jamie Foxx was the only hostage, think again. If you think people of color were the only ones who were enslaved, think again. Salem, Massachusetts was also cleansed on this channel. We did that during the Return of Christ work, well before the pyramids were completed and activations and stuff. And you know, they didn't take out witches. It was anybody of the light, anybody who had a gift, anybody shining light. They hung them, us. There were a lot of us that were there. They burned us. Okay? And so there has been a constant silencing of truth and light for a very long time. That is nothing new. They have taught you to judge quite well. They have taught you to be in fear quite well. They have taught you to be blind to what is true and more aware of their agenda. Very well. Okay? So do you detach? Are you at your crossroads? I guarantee you, you are. Thank you, Jamie Foxx. I love you! There is no coincidence to where I put my energy, to where I place my time in the work that I've been doing since my awakening especially. There is zero coincidences. It's all connected. We are all connected, right? I did that video. I talked about TikTok. He's at his time. His time has come to choose. And if he didn't choose God, maybe he would be a clone. He may have a clone, but he is still very much heart beating and breathing and choosing love. Thank you for being here. I say a prayer this video can stay up on my channel. There's so much more that we could choose to remove. Or how about not at all? Until next time, my friends. I love you all so much. Thank you for being you and for not judging and for truly, deeply opening up to all the details of who I am and what I've done and who people truly are beyond the illusion and through the light of the sun. Till next time.